Okay. I am gonna go back to separating the trade recaps and the end of day. I don't know. It's just a thing I will do. Also, I want to start going back to recording like the start of New York and the start of London just to see how my analysis goes. Right. Say what I think will happen and then see how it unfolds instead of just reviewing the end of the day because I could just be spewing a bunch of lies, right? Acting like I did see this happen when I didn't. So it's better when I start recording at the start of London, say this is my prediction, right? For example, this is my prediction, and if this doesn't happen by New York, I can update and say, okay, this is how it's going, this and that, you know. We'll see, just test out how that feels from tomorrow. Actually, on Thursday, not tomorrow. From actually Thursday. But yeah, oof, that's a lot of old stuff. Okay, not that. I'll come back to that. So here's the cat rats out of London. Did I even record? No. Oh shit. I've just been chatting and I didn't start the recording on the laptop. Damn. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. Okay, I'll see in editing how I decide to add the audio from up because I've just been chatting for a minute or so without actually recording on the laptop. So let's have like a quick little rundown of the day, right? We come into London with an iBoss fight, and then we would have expected something in here, right, before we start looking for cells. And then this is where the iffiness can save you, right, where you don't take the iffy stuff, because if you look at this right here, you would have had the move up right until there, and then it moves down with this inside bar until there, and then moves up again, right, and then you would have had the cross of this inside bar. Alright, once you have a cross on the inside bar, your expectation would be for it to man, what is going on? I can't go for nothing. Why people struggling? I will have that down, up, and then the cross there. So the expectation would be for it to come back in like this and then continue down. As you can see, it did actually go down right, which is this part here. Let's say this part, right, is this part over here. It's a little bit iffy, but you get the gist. If you were to look at it on the M5, should be a little bit clearer. As you can see on the M5, it's up, right? It's up here. It's down, even though it's up here. It's down. It's up. It's down, and then expectation would be for it to come in here and go down, right? But because this was only like a sweep and not actually a full-on close, it then prompts me not to take the risk entry on this POI, which then saves me, right? Instead of taking a loss in there, I don't take one, because I always say like just avoid the iffy stuff, even though it's in the internal high, like a strong internal high where you would expect price to go down, and on the M15 you would expect price to start going down from these areas, but simply because it was iffy and there is no clear direction right in here, then you just don't take that and you save yourself a little loss in there. Little moment to speak about. Ouch. And then as of now, we had a good reaction from the strong swing high. I have an iBoss there, and then hopefully we'll continue selling and then just look to follow the sells. Yes, we can. We just look to follow these sells. Right there, or is it there and about? Yeah. So yes, the cab will just look to follow the cells. And I think this is bearish. Don't know why, but then somewhere in there. There's the cab 15-minute plus. And then on GU, I was looking for sales in this 4-hour zone here, and then unfortunately didn't get it, and there was nothing really interesting after this point because it just kept moving up, so nothing really to talk about on GU except of the 4-hour. The pullback is moving deeper, so in order to start looking for serious sells, we'd have to cross this internal low right there before we start being bearish on the buyers side. And on the M15 we do have a 15-minute pause right there, which means the swing low stays there, and then this is the internal break and internal low, which means theoretically we should still be following it like that, but we'll see tomorrow how it develops. Let me leave that there. Euro is the same concept, but in the morning I was looking for sales since the internal was bearish, and I was looking to come into this 4-hour zone over here. Unfortunately, we didn't get the risk entry I was looking for within here at the start of London. Came in proper back into here. We didn't get a valid entry in there. Started selling. I was not interested in selling from any other zone except up here, being cautious of the fact that any of these could hold, right, and of which it did. The higher probability play was like from up here, and then come halfway to we have news, and then it just starts moving up and eventually creates 15-minute break of structure right there, which means the swing low moves from there right there. So yeah, looking for buys as well for tomorrow. Let's see how it develops. Last but not least, we have Euro JPY, which is also very bullish. Right, we just spoke about how we were looking for sells and they didn't work out. It looks like buys are the higher probability plays as of now, so we'll just continue looking for buys then without any problems. That was right there. Internal low right there. And I'd say this has moved enough to be considered. Stay here, please. To be considered an internal high. And so, just like all the other GBP and Euro pairs, we'll just keep looking for buys. Yeah, that's it.